Am I ever going to get used to doing these alone? I'm not quite sure. Maybe. Um, but not today. I give up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily cup of genre here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and Genreverse Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts from, such as like Google or Spotify, those types of things. I'm Kyle. If you are listening to us on your favorite podcast app, give us a follow, leave some feedback, thumbs up, down, reviews, however it works for your particular app. And if you are watching my ugly mug on YouTube, I am so sorry that you had to see this, but since you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a lot of really great content here on the channel, from anime and trailer reactions to podcasts covering anything and everything in geek and pop culture, from D-COG and Breaking Geek Radio, and of course the Cantina holding down Star Wars. And we actually have a Wheel of Time series, the Dragon Reviewed, going on right now. Yeah, merch, we got that if you're into supporting the podcast and the channel. Link in the description box below. Lots of different prints, including cute anime girl IMA. Oh, those are stories for later. But yeah, LRMonline.com every day for all written news, needs, opinions, celebrity interviews, and more. And by celebrity, I don't just mean actors, but talent. I don't mean just talent, but also people behind the camera, behind the scenes as well. Every day we do this show now, since it's just me for the moment. I like to go around LRMonline.com if you don't mind. Check out a few of the stories that are going on. Stuff, of course, from comic book world, and Marvel's a big deal for us. Hey, look, there's me talking yesterday. And a couple of stories that I will talk about in a second from Loki and Harry Potter. But yeah, there's a lot of really great content here on the website. So when it comes to Loki, the thing I wanted to mention was the new premiere time. So it started with Ahsoka, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit washed out here. Hold on, let me do that. Starting with Ahsoka, we had a shift from the midnight Eastern time releases to this 6 p.m. on release date. Sorry, I over scrolled a bit there. I use this fun little Logitech device to do my controls from the couch. Where was I? 6 p.m. release time. Sorry about that. And Loki season 2 debuting on October 5th will follow the same. Instead of being on a midnight on Wednesdays, as Wednesday became Thursday, it will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which puts it at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And it's not the worst idea. It kind of allows them to compete with broadcast channels who start having their PM shows, and try to draw the idea of advertisers and stuff to, hey, when we release these shows, for those on ad support, a lot of people are going to be tuning in more than, say, at midnight and whatnot, and here will be a good chance to front load ads or something like that. I can see the wheels churning for things like that, especially since I believe in the future it'll be very, very hard, if not impossible, to have an ad-free service. You might be able to, if you pay for like a year in advance, like go under contract, so to speak, and you do it for an exorbitant amount, and you might be able to be one of the few remaining ad-free. But let's face it, as subscription services have learned, and we've seen revealed in the news over the last couple of years, that how much money they lose. Disney, $500 million in one of their most recent quarterly releases, 9-month releases. Yeah, $500 million losses on direct to customer. That ads are going to have to come around. So it's interesting to see them do this move, and having the crowd, having the morning buzz is all good and great and all, but when you think about how many people stayed up till midnight anyways, how that affected the West Coast in the US at least, like I honestly think this is about corralling, or not corralling, but kind of showing that, hey, we can be advertiser friendly. So yeah, if you're looking for Loki season 2, I'm still undecided on whether or not I'm actually going to watch it, because I'm really just burned out on Marvel at the moment. But if you're interested, October 5th, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific time. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, that's that. The other one is, I'm not so much interested in what the producer for the upcoming Harry Potter series from Max, I'm not so much interested in what they have to say, because it's generally the same stuff you get on projects like this. It's about opportunities. They mention it's early time. They haven't even hired a writer or began writing. But they do talk about an opportunity to see the books and enjoy a series which explores the books more deeply. And that's the only thing I kind of wanted to really talk about, is the idea of what makes for good books versus what makes for good movies from this. You know, Harry Potter, the movies are beloved by a lot. It's how a lot of people were introduced to the character and wizarding world outside of the books. Outside of those early book readers, I should say. The movies is what really shot it up, and put it above to where each book release was this massive deal. And it's been interesting to see the world grow despite growing pains with things like the Fantastic Beasts movies, the I guess controversy, or at least attempt to create controversy over the recent Wizarding World game, Hogwarts Legacy. But you're doing this series, and it shows, one, that the franchise is above and beyond its creator, J.K. Rowling. It's beyond her. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how your personal feelings on her might be, it's beyond. People are into the wizarding world. They don't give two shits what she has to say or think. And of course, there are a lot of people that do care, and they either consume more of it because of it, or they consume less of it because of it. Regardless, it's going to live on. But and this is almost like going back and redoing Star Wars as a series, redoing the original trilogy as a series, I should say. These movies are almost holy to an entire generation and a half. People that grew up on these movies, or just became diehard fans with them. Me, whenever I try to read the books, I hear the movie voices in my head. You know what I'm saying? So it is going to be interesting to see what additional stuff they take from the books, what stuff they add anyways, regardless of whether or not it was in the books, because that's just how it's done when you adapt to things. But it makes me wonder if it's smart, because everyone's going to compare it to the movies and books. That's normal to compare it to the books, but this time you're getting compared to the movies. You know what I'm saying? And all that love and adoration there is a tough hill to climb. So yeah, there's a couple stories from LRM Online today that I wanted to discuss before we go into the big topic today, and that's physical media for games specifically. And I guess this is kind of in the spirit of when we used to have like Tech Tuesday segments attempted on this show, when it was Manny and I and Christine and I. But digital releases for games are something that I've been a part of. I have a Steam library. I have a large PS5 digital library, and then of course I've got a big physical media library as well. Not big, but big enough. That's what she said. Anyways, The point being is we're seeing a turn, and this isn't a new story. You guys can see on YouTube. I've got up a story from July 14th talking about the and this is from CBR, talking about video game digital release onlys. People talking about it being a necessary evil, and you think of games like Alan Wake 2, which was mentioned in the summer, and like a Dragon Gaiden, which is a part of what we used to call the Yakuza series, now just like a Dragon. They're going digital only, right? And I have an issue, a personal issue with it, because of the inability to get something back if the game turns out to be crap, like so many bug-ridden games these days when they first hit, but also if it turns out to be crap even after the patches, right? Recently, Final Fantasy 16 really severely disappointed me in every way, just about. One, it was really hard for me to see with the low frame rate and the full motion blur on that they used to try to hide the low frame rate, but it just made it a muddy mess. And then two, because it feels so separate, the story, which you get almost exclusively through cutscenes, and then the dungeons and slight little grinding you can do in between cutscenes. I mean, sometimes the only story you might get that's not done in a cutscene is when you're walking from a place of a cutscene to a place of another cutscene. The characters might say something together. So when big deaths happen, I don't feel a connection because I don't feel like I've played as any of those characters. I'm just watching them. And I hear some people say, well, isn't that like watching a movie? Yeah, but I'm playing a game, and my brain knows that, and it's like I should feel more. Anyways, getting kind of distracted. I wanted to be able to take that game back. I was that disappointed with it, and it reminded me of why physical media is so important beyond having a copy just in case, oh, I don't know, a game gets delisted, thinking Marvel's Avengers, and the Wii U and DS stores, the some old PlayStation network games and services, movies, TV shows. You guys think about streaming services that have either canceled or straight up removed things, or not even released something that was supposed to be on their platform or theaters. And you can see there are reasons to want to get physical media. But think about the developers here, okay? One of the things that having digital only provides is for a way to cut off residuals and stuff like that. If you drop the game from your subscription service, the developers no longer get any. I mean, you're not getting any money from it, but they're not getting any money from it either. Not just your subscription service, but any service generally. You delist the game. We won't carry it on our store anymore. So you actually can control the potentially control, depending on contracts, the cash flow of companies that aren't even under your umbrella, let alone the ones that are under your umbrella. And depending on the contracts that you have with the studios and developers and whatnot, they might not be able to get anything if their game is delisted at all. It's like, oh, you don't have this, so it's not even that because you're a part of our group, you still get a X amount. It's, oh, you got to have X amount of things on our store or platform to be entitled to like a base income, if you will. Or the point being is there's a lot of different financial strains that can come from having games taken off of market. And I know people out there, you just admitted, Kyle, you've got Steam, you've got PS5 digital games. There are games that I'm completely fine with getting digitally, especially older games. I'm not as against it, although I will go out and buy a lot of these are like GameStop or pawn shop games even, you know. I like to find good deals, retro game stores and stuff like that. We got a whole bunch of games like that, and then a lot of my digital library is free stuff from PlayStation Plus, free. I subscribe to it, but I'm aware I'm going to lose all of those. I'm not that beat up about it. If it's a game that I'm afraid to lose, I make sure I get a copy of it, whether that's a digital or physical copy. But I think I'm done just about with digital for consoles at least. PC is a bit of a different story through Steam at least. Plus, I don't have a CD DVD drive on my desktop to use anymore. Anyways, I do on the NAS, but PC gaming's a little bit different for now. Not saying that it will always remain different, but for now it kind of is more established, safer, local storage of game files. Don't have to be online to play most of your Steam library unless the game is explicitly, requiring it for one reason or another. But consoles are different. Console stores are different, as we've seen with everybody's favorite Nintendo and their wonderful pro-consumer methods. Yeah, it's not a good thing, guys, is what I'm trying to say. It limits you. It limits developers. It limits the second-hand market, which hurts local businesses, not just GameStop. I know GameStop doesn't have a great history to, the way it treats its workers allegedly and stuff, and its own commercial practices, its own business practices aren't necessarily the best to say, hey, woe is GameStop. But you got to think about the secondhand markets at local stores as well. Physical games, guys, this is a relative investment. And while, yeah, a lot of modern games, they could be like, oh, well, sure, you have a physical copy, but we still needed to check in with our software or this particular online thing, and then it doesn't, and then they say, oh, well, now you can't play it. I know that's a threat more and more, but it's still less so when you have the physical game, and homebrew and cracking and exploits and things like that do exist. So there's a lot of reasons to stick with physical media. And not only that, guys, when you think about on the subscription service side, both PlayStation and Xbox Game Pass, do you really expect them to not have some of the same issues that the streaming movie and TV services have had? You can't give people more stuff for less money. The one thing that games have that other forms of entertainment don't, microtransactions and making everything games as a service. I really don't want to see everything be games as a service. I don't know. What about you guys? Tell me some of your favorite physical media games that you're thankful to have a permanent copy of down in the comments below. Check out lrmonline.com every day for the stories we went over today and more celebrity interviews, access to the podcasts, which are available on all your favorite podcast apps. So you can take the D-COG, Dragon Review, Breaking Geek Radio on the go with you. Check out more on the YouTube channel because we get to do reactions and fun videos. I always like to try to do some fun videos during the holidays in the fall and winter. And of course, again, as I got to turn off the dark mode here, merch there on our Redbubble. Be sure to check all of that out. That's it for today. Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Only missed one day last week. Let's see if I can make it 5 for 5 this week. Bye.